Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. Tonight I'm going to continue configuring my devices. As you can see from my camera, I'm going to add a PoE switch and a 24 port switch. They are all Omada capable network, meaning they can be adapted on the network. Um, it will be a continuation of configuring this network and transforming this to a much more suitable network for the home use. In the previous video, uh, we connected the dual internet with the failover and load balancing configurations. You can see here, this is my Comcast internet and this one is my fiber internet, um, and this one is connected to the SMP port, which I converted into an RJ45. And if you haven't seen that video, you can watch it on my other videos that I uploaded a couple of days ago. So anyway, as you can see from my screen, this is my current setup. I have those two networks in here. Like I said, I have the AT&T, I have the Comcast, so I'm pointing my finger on those connectivities at the same time on my screen in here, as you can see. So let me zoom in a little bit. And I have my TL-ER7206 router. This is a load balancing router, VPN gateway, um, and it's been good so far. I've been testing it for some time now, and it's working okay. It's connected currently on my OC-300 controller, so there are only two devices connected. It's just my router and my OC-300, but I plan to add a PoE switch, a 24 port switch, and a wall plate access point from TP-Link. Okay, so that's the setup today. You can see here my laptop is connected. This is the green cable in here. That's where my laptop is connected. This is the uplink to the router, and these are the fiber internet. I'm going to transform it into something like this. So there will be the router connected to my backbone. I'll make this my backbone switch. This is a TL-SG3428 24 port. It's actually 48 ports if you include the SMP modules. 24 port switch, managed switch, and I'll make it the edge switch is this one, the TL-SG2210MP. This is a PoE switch. I'll connect my camera in. My access point in here as well, and this is where I'm going to connect. As you can see here, it's going to be my access switch. It's where all my other devices are going to connect. The way it's gonna work is I have defined. I will define these VLANs. I will have a native or management VLAN 192.168.1.0/24. It will be the native VLAN. It's marked by the green connectivity, meaning it's a trunk port, trunk port, trunk port, trunk port, and this one is an access port connected to my laptop. At least that's the plan. I have the VLAN 20 and VLAN 107. I apologize if I say a lot. I don't really have a script when I'm making these videos. I usually do it on the fly, and I'll just go about doing this, exploring like a new person new to these devices, exploring the options. So if you see me clicking from time to time and trying to find those options, it's because I'm not really an expert on these devices yet. I'm learning it, and hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes and learn from my learnings as well. Okay, so this is the plan. Router to the backbone switch, to the edge switch, and connected to all my devices. So I have logged into my controller already to the Omada cloud. If you don't know how to do it, again, look at my previous videos. I have created a tutorial or at least a walkthrough for a first time impression on how to log into your OC-300 controller. You launch it this one from here, and I'll refer to my drawings from time to time to make sure I don't get lost in what we needed to do. or at least what I needed to do. Still loading. While it's loading, again, my first step is to connect my router to the backbone. So currently have this short red Ethernet cable. Like this is my backbone, so I'm going to get a much longer cable and see if it's gonna reach. Yep, I can reach it from here. So I'm going to do that like that, and I'll do a concurrent switch as well, so that you'll see how it goes while. And let's see my configuration currently. So let's see my devices in here so that you guys can see what are my current devices. So I have one router connected. I don't have this adapted or configured yet on my controller, so I'm going to start connecting them now, and I'll do a concurrent ping google.com -t -t, however you want to say it. I'm going to disconnect this one. Okay, I'm going to connect this one here. So now, yep, I will have a request timeout, but I have fulfilled these conditions. I connected my router to my backbone switch, and now I need to connect my backbone switch to my edge switch. Its switch is in the middle, so let me get another cable for that one. So I got the blue wire connected there, and I think I need another short wire. Let me get another short wire, short cable. Got a bunch of short cables in here. So the green ones. Let me get the blue cable. Red cable in here as well. So I think the red cable should be fine. Connect it here. Connect it here. Okay. So now I have connected my backbone to my edge switch. It shouldn't still be able to ping. Now I'm going to connect my controller. So let's see what's my next step in here. So I need to connect my controller to the edge switch. Do that there. Let me connect this one to the edge switch as well. I think I should be able to get them working anytime soon. I need to connect my PoE access point. There you go. It's this one. Should power up. I think I have enough cables now. It should be okay. And let's set it aside. So again, let's review what happened here. I connected my router, so I never touched my internet connection. It's still the same. I connected my router to the backbone switch, which is the blue wire. I then connected my backbone to the edge switch, and now my laptop is connected to the PoEs, as well as the OC-300 is connected to the PoEs, to the edge switch, and all of these devices are connected to the switch. So let's see. In theory, it should, this one should be a trunk port. I'm not sure if I have configured it already, but at least it should have the native VLAN, a default VLAN, and then tag port and tag LAN, which is the 192.168.0. So in theory, I should be able to ping it. And there you go. Yeah, I can ping it. And let's see. I'm just scrolling up and see, show you, there you go, there was a series of stop of ping in there. Okay, there was a series of stop in there wherein I was, there you go. Okay, so again, I'm going to my Omada controller interface and see what devices shows up. So let me refresh that one, go to devices, and as you can see here, I have these devices listed in here, 192.168.0.161. It's been off for 5 days apparently, and I just left it powered on, pending. And this one has a red, could be in, what's this, new firmware available. Okay, new firmware for the router is available, which is pretty cool. Okay, that's good. I guess I can start showing upgrading of the firmware as well. I thought this one is the latest one already, but okay. So let me adapt this and adapt this one as well. So this is my PoE switch. This is my this is the backbone. So I'll call it the backbone as soon as I have adapted it, and hopefully it will once we get, okay, as soon as I adapted the PoE and it says provisioning, now we can see my access point, my wall plate access point, and now I'm going to adapt it as well. So now all of them are connected. Let me rename this. So this one is the 48 port config. This one will be called backbone. Do I have an app? Oh, there you go. There's an apply. Then this one will be access or edge switch. I'll call it access switch. No, let me just call it edge. Okay. And this one will be, let me call it wall EP01. Click apply. So this one should work, I believe so. Let me go to the internet, cnn.com. Go to Google, CNN, so let me see, info.com, see if it works. I can access the internet. With all of this, I haven't done any special configurations. All I did is just adapt all these devices. I adapted the PoE switch. I adapted the 24 port switch, and I adapted the access point for this particular example. I haven't really done any configuration, but as you can see, it's already working. And that's because there is a native VLAN defined on this one, which is an untagged VLAN, connects to all the switches and it propagates all to the network. Okay, so to make this interesting, to make this a little bit more useful, like I said, I'm going to configure several VLANs in here. I have the native VLAN already, which is the 192.168.1.0/24. Let me see again. Oh, it's a 192.168.0. Let me correct this one. So it should be my 0. Okay. Okay, so now I would would like to, I don't really want my laptop connected to the management VLAN at all times. I really would like to make it as secure and configure the management VLANs on a few separate ports, but for the time being should be okay, and I'll configure that much later on once I have all the other VLANs properly configured on the network. So let me start by configuring, let's see, the wired network. Let me go to the LAN. Okay, can I edit this one? It's called LAN. I just rename it to management. Okay, and I'm going to create new LAN. I'll call it, what do I call it? We'll have family, guest, and IoT. Family, guest, and IoT. Family, this is connected to LAN 2. Okay, I'll call it VLAN 10. Gateway is 192.168.10.1/24. Update the TCP range. I'll call it family. LAN. It's just, you don't really have to use this because it says optional. I'm just fond of adding those so that if I check the network, if I forget what VLAN it is, it shouldn't be because it's already 10. I figured it's good to always have a domain name. Okay, so DNS server, I really like to add it manually to make sure I don't go to my ISP's DNS. I'll keep those default and save. Family management. Okay, I'll get another one. I'll call it guest. I'll use the proper guest interface. We'll do on LAN 2. This one's VLAN 20 and 2.168.20.1/24. Update the TCP range. This one is guest.LAN. Okay. Again. Family guest, let me edit this one. Okay, and the last one will be the IoT. On LAN 2. This one's VLAN 107. 4. Now 107 looks like an IoT, so that's why it's 107 instead of using VLAN 30, VLAN 40, so on and so forth. 107 seems unique, so then IoT LAN, and again DNS server. One. Click save. Okay. So I have all of this already on the network. So let me go to the switch settings for file. So I'm just reviewing whatever things that I did. Management, let me just rename the management to a proper case, or none. Management. Okay. settings, and the first thing I would like to do, okay, there's a backbone and edge, and the first thing I would like to do is configure my my port, the PoE port, to become the, well, I don't have to do that if I'm an admin, but just for this example, we'll configure this as part of the family VLAN. So let me try doing that. I should be on the edge, and port, I'm on port 7. Currently it says all VLAN, so we don't want it to be on the all VLAN. I just want it to be on a family VLAN. So let me just check again. My current IP is 0.126. I'm on the admin management VLAN, so I'll just click apply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release my IP and try to the new one and see if that works. And there you go, I got an IP for 192.168.10.43, which corresponds to the network. And let's see if I can see that on my devices as well, or at least on the client. Well, do I see the clients? Okay, clients. And so apparently this access point is also part of this, considered as a client. It's connected as a client on the H port 3, H port 7. So this is pretty cool. The Omada controller actually tells you which port it's connected. And what is this again? This one is blocked, so I can even block actual clients. And it's smart enough to identify that this is a access point, which apparently I haven't named yet. I thought I already named it. It's a wall AP01. I did name it, but on the client list, yes, it's the OC-300. This is not the access point. This is the actual OC-300. So config that and call it controller. Apply. Let's connect to H port 3 and how it works. And there you go. Okay, so this laptop actually has a Wi-Fi NIC, wireless interface card. So let me create a new wireless network so that I can connect this laptop to that network. But for now, let me just see if I can still access the internet. Go.com. Okay, let's see, ebay.com. There you go. You can access the eBay. So I'm still on the network while I'm still on the family VLAN. Yep, it's called on a family VLAN. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. So let me configure the wireless network here, and let's see if I can do that successfully without any issue. So create a new wireless network. I would like to call it family Wi-Fi, and let's create a management one first. This is not a guest network. And for just this particular example, I'll type it password. I'll change it password. Okay. Advanced settings, SSID broadcast, enable, and click apply. Okay. Let me cancel this and edit this one. Management. I'll call it Wi-Fi. Call the other one as family Wi-Fi. Family Wi-Fi. Security none. Security key. Again, I'll use security as password. I'll enable VLAN, and family VLAN is VLAN 10. Let's see. Okay. Click apply. Now I should be able to see a family Wi-Fi here in management Wi-Fi. Okay, I can see the management Wi-Fi. I still can't see the family Wi-Fi. So let me connect to the management Wi-Fi. Password is password. See if I can connect properly. Okay, it's connected. So I'm going to disconnect it, my laptop. So let me do a consistent ping first. Let me do a consistent ping first. Consistent. Let me disconnect first to Wi-Fi. Okay, so I'll ping google.com -t, and once I remove the cable, I should have a request timeout. And if I connect to the management VLAN or management Wi-Fi, there you go, and I should have an IP address in the range of 192.168 local.LAN. Okay, so now I don't want to connect to my management VLAN. Let me go to disconnect and let me connect to the family Wi-Fi. Connect. Password is password. Yes. First time being. And again, I got the family Wi-Fi. Family Wi-Fi IP, which is 192.168.10.89. And let's see if I can still access the internet. I still can. Okay, so that's how you create the Wi-Fi. That's how you create the VLAN. And that's it for this video. Next video, I'll probably create some access control list and to add more securities and protections. But for now, I'm gonna add one more wireless network in here just to show you how it's going to be added again. So let me add one more IoT Wi-Fi. So I need to add the VLAN in here because the connectivity here is a trunk port. I need to be able to get the IP address of the IoT and get them isolated. What else do I need to create? Let me check. Oh, I need to create the guest and then IoT. So let me create the guest first. Guest Wi-Fi. So since this is a guest Wi-Fi, in order for me to not create any special access to this, I'll just click this one, this radio box, and it will have Omada controller will apply its own internal settings to make sure this is a guest network. If you don't trust it, you can have you can disable checking that and configure your own access control list. I think that's another workaround. But this one, for this particular example, I'll add the guest network, and I'll see if I can ping some other devices. But I don't have any other devices. I only have this laptop currently connected, and in the future videos I'll have another device connect and see how guest Wi-Fi is guest devices connected to the guest Wi-Fi are isolated from the rest of the network. Okay, so I'll get guest Wi-Fi, and the guest Wi-Fi is actually in VLAN 20, and again that is the guest is VLAN 20 guest. Okay, just showing you in there. This is VLAN 20. Oh, password. Let's do it. Password. Okay. The last one I need to create is the IoT Wi-Fi. The security is password. Advanced settings, the VLAN is 107, and click save or click apply. So let me look at this again. You can see here it says VLAN is 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 107. Management Wi-Fi, because it runs on the native VLAN, it's not tagged. I think I would like to have it tagged as well. Maybe in later videos I'll have to do that as well. Make sure it's locked down real tight. But for now, I believe this should help assist you with creating the Wi-Fi and the wired networks. Don't get confused with the networks that you define on the wired network in here. That's one of my learning curve when I was learning. Well, I'm still learning. When I'm trying to learn this configuration, the naming here doesn't really have to reflect whatever naming that you would like to define on your wireless networks. The naming here on the LAN is mostly for convenience and for easier recognition of what your network is, instead of referring to the 192.168 or VLAN whatever. You can easily use them on your future configurations, like grouping, port profiles, switch profiles. But most important things here are to really understand what the subnets are associated with the particular VLAN. So VLAN 10 is that 10, VLAN 20 is that 20, VLAN 107 is 107, and management VLAN is 1. And the profiles that I have, as you can see here, these are the profiles that are created automatically. The default ones are the disable and the all, and all is just all VLAN. And as you can see here, the native network is management. This is the default network, not necessarily default, but it's a default configuration. They have the VLAN, the LAN, which I renamed to management as the native VLAN. I'm too lazy to create another management VLAN. And disable is none, the family is family, and there's some bandwidth control that hopefully I can get to it as well and show you how it's done. I'm going to practice maybe, or learn as I go, and try to fumble and check as we move along. But for this one, as you can see here, the management, the all network is a management, is a native network, and the management is the native network is the management. IoT, guest, family, and none. Okay, and then switch settings. So far the switch settings, the only change that I did was configuring one of the port 7, which is now currently down because I have disconnected this cable. So that's the only thing I configured as an access port, at least on port 7. On the edge switch, okay, it does show the port 9 and port 10, which confuses me, but these are the SFP ports. Okay, so port 7, which is family in here. So now that I connected it, I should show 2 IP addresses. So one is family.lan and the other one is family.lan. Okay, let me connect to one of the other Wi-Fi. Let's see. Disconnect, and let's see. Let's connect to guest Wi-Fi. Password. Connect. So the other one should have the .10, the other one should have the .20, and you will see the domains will also be different. Okay, let me do another IP config. So family.lan, guest.lan 20, and .10. So again, hopefully you learned something from these videos. You learned from my mistakes and you learned from my explorations. That's it for this video. Till the next one.